Let's go. The attestation of the nation. What are we doing with the attestation of the nation? The nation, the attestation of the nations. But I cannot speak for you, and you cannot speak for me. 'Tis only that we can speak and listen to each other. We cannot say what someone else must feel or think about the evil or the real the way we'd like them to. Sometimes, just if they could make sense to us, and it wouldn't just seem like so much fuss for them to make sense when they open their mouths and say some things that never seems to have any springs. That spring so true to you. Oh, that words must also sing to you, and not always to ask for money from you. Do 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 do. Isn't it interesting how quickly Stefan Molyneux disappeared from the internet? Oh, maybe there's still a website. I don't know. And don't you also feel that people don't always talk about what's real? It's like there's some kind of Solomon's seal upon the truth, and you hear so many things from year to year, and some of them make you scared or bring a tear, and then you feel like you have your own ideas as well about how the world has gone to hell and what we should do. Because you know what we all should do. And if only we would listen to you, then we would also be fine. And we could all talk with one mind. You would say boo and I would say how high. And then we'd feel so good. Never having a mind of our own. We just live in one giant home that would never change, because it no longer mattered that anything was different than anything else, because nobody was really different than anybody else, and we all agreed that we would never try to think all by ourselves. Because that's really what makes everything so hard, is when we think by ourselves. Hi. And then we come to now, and people say that's all there is. The past is nothing, and the future hasn't even happened yet. We're just right now, and everything that happened before now doesn't matter anymore. If you want to be happy, it's like you were never really born, and nothing bad has ever happened to anyone. And everything bad is just because they don't live in the moment like you. And if everyone lived in the moment, we'd all be so good again. Just being now. And also having Jesus inside you. Who knows how we got there, but there are many ways in. And your ears are also a sexual cavity that Christians use to rape in the name of their all-perfect God, who makes sure that your soul is always bought and it's all good because they know everything that we all should need to know. And once you've got the look upon their stupid faces, you don't need to grow anymore. Because when you were born, you were already a murderer who needed to kill the bull Jesus, your father, and a 3-month-old child every spring when everything was growing so new. It wasn't quite right unless you killed someone and gathered some chocolate bunny eggs, and it was good. And we like to work for the economy. God's so far away, but he always knows how much we owe and just where we should put our pee-pees and our vaginas. That's good. If you have to have sex and you have to make wood, then do it here, the way God says, to make sure you're clean enough to be with him. Someone who's so clean that he's never been dirty like you. God's never done anything wrong. That's just for you, and he just has to wait around and hope you'll hear this song and be made clean so that you too can sit before the Lord, who was killed, but then he came back because he was once born from a virgin. And that makes total sense because his mother had never had sex, not even with her husband, and that totally makes sense. And even God looks at Jesus and says, he's not mine. And when Jesus asks for my Father, he doesn't answer him back, because the truth of the drama and all theatrical plots and scriptures is the sacrifice of man. But that's okay, because it makes us feel better. Just try not to think about it too much. Remember, it's evil to use your mind too much, because there's so much debt. You may not know it, but your flesh and blood is very heavy to take care of. You're full of sin. Your birth has put you into serious arrears, and all the years aren't enough unless you become a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or something suitable like that, so that your scat smells better than mine and it's pure, and now you're not filthy anymore. Your ego has really never been born, just a delusion you had because of samsara and the unnecessary craving for happiness that you'll lose when you finally accept all of our abuse, and you'll be fine. I swear the Dalai Lama doesn't think anger is reasonable, because he's not enlightened, but he's full of bullshit. But it's great. His orange cloak makes it all wonderful. His bald, shining, smiling face. He's an incredible charismatic actor who was apparently beaten all of his childhood, because that made him pure. And also you, if you're beaten and you're enlightened, it will make you better. It's like beating God himself, and he's like, thanks for beating me. Beating helps God become a better person. Torture helps God fulfill his purpose. So if you want to be like God, be tortured. Hey.
Hi, King. Sorry.
No, yeah. Keep moving.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to lead a group during the week, so we'll just go along here over the little bridge.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, no, do so.
We
Yeah.
see you walking so much.
Oh, yeah, I do walk a lot out here these days. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's I've been learning a lot from the locals. There's a lot of trails, a lot of miles, right?
Absolutely.
I try to keep warm though. It's a little chilly by the river.
It's a little chilly in the shade, isn't it?
So enjoy your walk, and have you been a lot down here before?
Oh gosh, yeah.
So you know the area very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just planning a walk for a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm leading a group of older women.
And you're planning it. That's cool.
Yeah, Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, I want something different. So
what would you do? I've never had to do that. What would you plant? I've seen, yeah, actually mostly elders and stuff walking out here. And
Yeah.
I tell my mom, I say there are people in great shape out here.
Absolutely.
Walk farther than I do sometimes. I think
well,
in a
you
day.
walk miles.
I do walk a few
We
miles.
live way off like Butler there, right?
Oh,
and we
okay.
see you along the railroad tracks all the time.
Absolutely. Oh, good. Oh, so you're one of the local people that live near the railroad.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So this is our backyard.
Have I
right?
seen you on that trail back there? I don't know, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we've
lovely
seen you
area.
lots.
Yeah,
We've seen you lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time we see you, you remind us of this other friend of ours named Wynn Gimitrowski. And every time I think, oh, that's Wynn coming, but then it's
Wynn
you. Wynn. His first name is Wynn, Wynn, and his last name is Gimitrowski.
Gimitrowski. What a cool name.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he like a famous person?
Well, not really. He was
a neat guy.
He was a physiotherapist and a really good coach, like an Olympic coach and running. But they live up in French Creek now, so I always say to them, maybe we'll see him. And then
well, my two favorite areas here in French Creek. I have to say, I've lived in French Creek, and it's a gorgeous little pearl.
Yeah, beautiful.
I shouldn't keep you from your fellow there too long. But anytime you want to chat, yeah, please to meet you.
Yeah, so my name's Kim.
Kim Landon.
Landon, nice to meet you.
Bye, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah. So, not a cougar, but just sees me walking around. I don't know. I think she said in Butler. I don't even know where that is. Oh, cool. That's nice. I remind her of a physiotherapist. That's cool. Wynn Petrosky. That's a cool name. See, that was a pleasant meeting. That's one of the first middle-aged women is pleasant to talk to. It's good to make friends with the locals. Yeah. Yeah, I love French Creek. I'd love to live out there with my mom at a nice little rancher, maybe $2,000 a month and just all expenses. I'd be so happy if I could say to mom, hey, I found a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom rancher, laundry, everything. We can put $2,000 together a month. We can rent to own. Whatever you want. It's got a little garden, got a little doghouse. My mom just needs a home. And I engage her and I say, Mom, look, sometimes I just have emotions. They have reasons. Like, people have emotions. And if I'm sharing an emotion or something emotional to me, you don't always have to listen to it, but you don't have to get angry either. You don't have to be defensive. You just need to say, okay, I hear you. That's it. That helps. I don't ask people to take my emotions in and be able to process what I might have to say emotionally, right? I mean, yes, it can seem like we want people to do that when we're intense and emotional, but I think it's fair to make sure that everybody knows they don't have to actually take that all in, or they don't have to do anything about it anyway. Hey. Kim. I was actually glad that wasn't a famous person. Oh, good, it's not. Just somebody. Butler. So you go by these people's houses. That's how I know. When you go by any houses, assume they can always see you. Because chances are their house is pointed in your direction because they like to look out, right? And see things, and probably washing dishes or doing chores or sitting and looking out the window. And so I've made the odd friend over the years, people who just said, I see you walking around all the time. And usually when people say they see me walking, it doesn't feel good, So friendly energy, that's good. That gets the day going nicely. I'm going to head to Odin's Deep. By the time I get there, if I keep walking, I'll be nice and warm. The day has progressed nicely. Little birdies. I've seen nice little birdies. I have squirrel medicine today, dragonfly medicine, which in a sense, I associate squirrel medicine with positive conversations. And dragonfly is like, don't worry. You don't have to prove you're a powerful person. It's a nice place to see the sun. Hi, sun. So beautiful. Thank you. Right? Eternal. Eat, earn, null. Eat, earn, turn, torn, tear, null. Null is not a good word. It's also the first three letters of my name backwards. Eternal. Land. What would eternal be backwards? Land. Ret. Land reet. Land reet. Land reet. Lanita. My feminine personality. Hi, this is Lanita. Welcome. Do you want a taco? I hate this show Heartland, and this girl Ashley is always saying Rosalita should do this. Rosalita is their housemaid. Oh, just get Rosalita to do this and just get Rosalita to do that. And it's just like, Mexican origins and whatnot. And I'm just like, is that it? Is that what Mexicans are? People's maids? There's this thing called The Maid on, I don't watch it on Netflix in the series, and it's a white girl who, in awful circumstances you have to emotionally sympathize with in every way. But it's like, how many people don't have as many opportunities as she does? She's got an alcoholic white male husband, but she's all clean, right? You have to expect that she doesn't do anything wrong, she's never done anything wrong, and she's a perfect innocent victim of her circumstances, right? Which is true of a lot of us, but I'm starting to see how in ways that I could pick up neurolinguistically, TV and movies are so fucking unrealistic, which sounds obvious. Of course, they're not meant to be real, are they? But they're so unrealistic. The fidelity is all off. all these maple leaves everywhere. What a good crap you did. Let us think back. Reflections on a crap. Today's turning back the clock. Remember that crap that we did. Remember that big crap? It started off light brown and got darker because we had beef yesterday. So the cows have been good to me. They bring healing. Cows are very wise. You're surprised how many animals are, how much they have to teach us if we ask. The birds, in different ways, teach me about being in touch with the fundamental songs and laws of creation, and to open my heart to something more positive. You know, I've been on a long path the last 2 weeks to get back to resonance, and in along the way I've clarified the law with people. How many people deal with things day after day just looking for a moment of peace, right? And I have every day to myself as an anxious woman up there with her dog. And a nice rock with some crystal in it. Been holding. Hi. Now, she's a young girl, she's in her 20s, and she's wearing a beautiful tank top. I didn't look very closely, but you could probably see her nipples if you wanted to, with no sleeves. It was like, that's your prerogative. It's like, it's fucking cold out here, man. It's like, you really need to show your tits that much. Take the girls for a walk. What woman puts on a t-shirt where you can see her breasts and says, this means nothing to me? Clearly you're looking for a mate. You know, which you have the right to do. Good luck. But just don't point those things in my direction. Like missiles fired into her back. That's what, in Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase and Danica are like, wow, talk about one's boobs. It's like missiles fired into her back. And of course, I'm 10 years old. I'm thinking, or 12. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, these characters are basically the same mental age as we are. How else would you explain their incredibly mesmerizing effect? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello. Let's see about you. Are you? Yeah, oh my God. Yeah. I've ever seen her live. I don't know what house. I see you walking by our house all the time, and to remind us of a man we knew who was a physiotherapist named Win Petrovsky. Oh yeah, that means I remind you of an Eastern European man, which is not unusual when women find me attractive and compare me to what they think is my racial provenance. Actually Russian, but that's okay. Also native and Mennonite and Dutch and German and Irish and British and Cockney. And so I have lots of interesting things to deal with. Because all those people have issues, and some of them been knocked around pretty good. So you don't want to be too much Irish. You certainly don't want to be too much Mennonite. You don't want to be too British, although I guess then you're pretty thick, because basically it's the most racist nation on earth, essentially. British people are racist to each other. You have to understand, like, one person living one place will be racist to someone living a mile away. I talked to a guy at a ferry terminal who accused my people of being racist because we make something called Yorkshire puddings, which we stole from Yorkshire, that isn't really a pudding. He's like, okay, and I have to give it to the guy. He sounded like, I'm not going to take away his story. I thought, and he wasn't trying to be rude. It was just like, it was amazing how they have these stories that make all these awesome distinctions between one people and another. I mean, but I like Yorkshire pudding. It's basically just some kind of pastry that you pour gravy on. It's not even used as a pudding, really. I guess you could make a pudding. Or maybe the Yorkshire people made a pudding. I don't know. But credit to the Yorkshire people. That's why it's called Yorkshire pudding. I guess they stole it from Yorkshire. They put your name on the map, man. They don't have Cockney pudding. They just have spotted dick. I've had a spotted dick, actually. I realize that now. A woman raped me and gave me spotted dick. Women. The raping action of the vagina has not been sufficiently considered by the feminist turn of our collective pathology. But alas, women are always with us. We need mothers, otherwise this all stops. But of course, if we didn't have mothers the way we had mothers, all the pain would stop also, because women are distributing all the violence in the world. Unfortunately, if you have a mature sense of what violence really is, it goes back to what is violent, which is in our blood, which comes from our mother. Human behavior is largely matrilineal, and understand before you get angry at me, ladies, that the way that you try to protect what is matrilineal without considering what is passed through women means that you'll never really get the value out of what a woman is. You have to have the responsibilities that come with it. You could be the most powerful gender in the world, but like anyone else who wants power, you have to wield it in a genuine way. And that's all of our problem. If I want power as a man, I have to wield it in a genuine way. Nature is not going to give you more than you can handle. And just because you have difficulties doesn't mean you're not powerful. I mean, there are a lot of wrong things in the world, but the very least we can say is that whatever you're dealing with is going to test your power. And that the dragonfly medicine is that you are powerful. You don't have to prove it to anyone, but you might need to take the bull by the horns from time to time. And when that time comes, it will be now. Now is the moment, right? The dragonfly is very versatile. So it connects to 4 dimensions, 4 wings, because there's 4 dimensions to the soundness of our mothers and fathers and children. Us. Okay, I gotta piss. 2 days in a row now I've went into women who think I look nice. And they're always over the age of 60. Isn't that incredible? No other women talk to me. If a woman comes at me and is unnecessarily booby, if I can see her yoni through her pants, all that kind of stuff, it kind of turns me off. I don't like beautiful men. I don't want to be able to see what makes you fuckable. You know, I'm not shopping for a piece of ass. I'd really settle for someone I could have a fucking conversation with who has a mind of their own. I mean, what decent man wants anything else other than that? If you got a few extra pounds or not enough, I don't give a fuck. We might fuck one day, but hopefully not, and we could just stay friends. That's what I like. But if there is something, then let it be. You know, have some responsibilities to it. No one ever talks about love as a responsibility. You know, if it's worth anything, it has power, like the dragonfly. Wow, it's nice out. This is let's go here. Oh God, urine wants to come whenever I drink a yerba mate. Oh, the urine must flow. Oh, it's like urine mate. You should call it urine mate. Actually, the can is the color of urine, come to think of it. Huh, that's interesting. Humans know. I think there's another trailer on here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, urine mate. That's what they should call it. Oh, it's diuretic, that's all. Yerba mate is a diuretic. Maybe just caffeine is a diuretic, I don't know, but definitely yerba mate is. Oh, well, there's somebody coming along. Wow. That's interesting. Hey. Oh, I guess that's not where I want to go. Okay. We'll just wait down here for a second. Wait. If you can, you don't know, but wait. If you can, you don't know, but wait. If you can, you don't know, you can wait. If you can, you don't know, you can wait. If you can, you don't know. If you can, you don't know, you can wait. When you... okay. Oh, I gotta piss. Those people just came out of the woods. I was wondering what path they took. I didn't want to ask them. Oh, let's go back this way. When you need to piss, you should do it as fast as you can. Don't make yourself suffer unnecessarily. If you drink urine mate, you might need to piss more frequently than usual. Listen to this. I'm pissing right now in the moment. In the moment, you always defecate and urinate in the moment. It's definitely of the moment. It's like, what are you doing? Taking a piss? I always think like urine and feces should be more predictable than people. More reliable, really. I mean, sometimes all I really had is the shit that I'm taking. You know, the shit coming out of my ass is the most love I've ever had. You know, it's there for me. I love that it's leaving. It's in various states of consistency, and which affects how much of it may get on my hands, respectively, and so forth. You can understand the difficulties involved with that, and otherwise the great satisfaction that comes with that thing, elimination. You know, when men are sexually assaulted, women eliminate them. A woman can be attracted to me, but that doesn't mean she hasn't eliminated the man from her mind. A lot of women have lesions in their brain where their father has been eliminated by the mother, even before they're born. And it's a specious problem that isn't being dealt with by anybody except me. That sounds fancy, doesn't it? A specious problem that isn't being dealt with by anyone but me. I wonder what kind of problem that could be. the elimination of men like a piece of shit. Right? You see how easily women eliminate their children. Women are good eliminators because women are aroused. They can have often excess estrogen. They lived in homes with excess estrogen. So they become kind of gender alcoholics. They're like genderholics. That's why you have all this weird gender identity, because people in cults are genderholics, you know. There's all kinds of crap that goes on in cults because people identify with things at the level of their gender and their sex. And so smart cult leaders try to convince people that they're kind of like masters of sex as well as love. I thought there was another trail along there. But anyway, let's take this one. Yeah, I knew this young girl at this coffee shop once, and you know, she was a little sexually precocious to me, not too bad, but she had a boyfriend, and pretty soon she was married. She was engaged. I guess her life was kind of spoken for. Very attractive, a nice family. Just she looked like a girl Debbie. I think every horny guy in high school wanted to do. You know, and Debbie actually sexually assaulted me once. Yeah, in chemistry class. Yeah, unwanted touch. Yeah. Hey, women, you have to understand, if you like a guy, don't touch him. You know what I mean? It's sexual assault, right? Let's say you had an 18, 19-year-old daughter, and I was her tutor, and I liked her, and I thought she had beautiful boobs, and I went home and masturbated like a monkey in a mango tree. You wouldn't need to know that, but the moment I put my arm around her, the moment I touch her, you know, that's sexual assault, right? That's sexual assault. Don't touch men you like sexually. Don't touch them. Right? You've lost the right to touch them. Right? Why do you hurt people? Why do you hurt people? Because you like them? Yes. And yet, a lot of women who will sexually assault me and stalk me are very immature about sex. Like, when she was getting over this log in front of me, I didn't know these people. I was ignoring her, but she was attempting to make conversation with me. Just a strange man. It's funny, when women get into their 60s, they just have no trouble talking to attractive men in a way that they never would have probably if they were younger and by themselves. It's a bit of an entitlement that they have. And they enjoy it. They like my energy. They soak it up. They'd rather be around me than look at the sun. You know? They just love that yang energy. You know, women steal it from men quite often. They just like talking to me and sucking my energy. They're fucking cunts, but I just try not to give them too much of my time. It makes me wonder, like, what women are ever interested in, why they talk to men at all. Like, what is the point for them? Like, oh, you walk in front of my house. Like, how is that a connection of any kind? So you're trying to tell me I look fit? Oh, I see. You like to talk to men who look like they're in good shape and remind you of friends you used to have? It's like, if I say to a woman, oh, you remind me of someone I used to know, is that really a good talking point? women like that, they often have a certain intuition about people. You know, they think, oh, you know, you're a nice person. You're like, they're probably picking up on something about me. But it's just like, who cares? It's like getting my can of Euromenti today from that woman. I knew she'd had her car serviced. I could have asked, but I don't care that much. It's interesting. I hope it went well, but it doesn't matter. And it might convey too much interest in her than I wish her to feel that I have, because women get very easily excited by me. I notice if I try to make conversation with them. And then it's just like, every woman that I ever know is always kind of flirting with me. And it just gets tiring. So I just don't have relationships with anybody. I mean, I went to one of the last new coffee shops I went to. Like, I'll get women that get really weird and aggressive, or they get really flirtatious. And there's usually some sort of humiliating event with sociopathic females or males. There'll be a humiliating interaction that's hardly necessary, and then they'll start to be more interested in you. Right? Humiliation is how they break the ice. Right? So this one woman accused me of looking at her asshole, right? And one of the owners. And then after that, I apologized. And then after that, she started flirting with me, and her female partner started wearing more revealing clothing. It was just, you could see young men coming in who could tell the color of her fucking bra. You know? And the whole place would be filled with men every day. You know? Her fucking fat ass sticking out of her leotard polyprene pants, her yoni pants, right? As one male sexual predator said to me, it's like, oh, they're yoni pants. When a woman wears that, I know that I can fuck her. I'll have a chance at fucking her because she wants men to see her vagina. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. She's like, yeah, you can see their fucking yonis. Right? That's from a male sexual predator. Looking at your daughter's cunt because she's wearing her tight pants around like she's fucking Baryshnikov. Like they're all fucking ballerinas now. You have to see their fucking asshole and their vaginas. And if you say the wrong thing within vicinity of either, you're considered a sexual predator yourself. You know? It's really creepy. It's like, I don't put my junk on display. You know? Jesus Christ. I was with this one woman. It's every one of them. I was with this fucking mother once, just outside, and I was stretching or something, and she started staring at my ass. It's like, okay. You know, it just got worse after that. Couldn't control herself. Right? Ooh, creepy. So women do not have a lot of sex maturity. Most people don't. I don't even claim to. I just know that I don't. People think they go to high school, they start masturbating, they go to dances, they hold hands, they kiss. Maybe they have orgies. They did when I was young. Not me, but it was usually the women who would have the orgies. Always when there was a party with sexual promiscuity, it was always run by a girl. Every single time. Every single time. Every single time. Right? Every single time. It started as young as grade 2 or 3. Right? And I was sexually harassed all the time. Female teachers, students. I was put in a class of all girls. So I've been studying women my whole life. Right? As a totally passive male, but extremely observant with owl medicine. So no woman is ever going to tell me she knows more about being a woman than I do. Right? Because I come from a woman. Don't tell me I don't have a voice in what a woman is. It needs to be. Because if I have a family one day and you don't give me that voice, then you're never going to get my dick in any part of your body. It's that simple. It's the most amazing vaccination against reproduction, is to eliminate the male voice from my home. It just won't happen. I will have a commanding voice in my home. That's it. Never be with a woman who doesn't give the man a commanding voice in his home. Right? And doesn't give you one as well. Jesus Christ, what's the wrong with two people being powerful and having a voice in their lives? If you can't figure that fucking shit out, then what is the point of anything else? And don't include alcohol. You know, it's basically estrogen poisoning in a bottle. Okay? People with problems with alcohol have the same problems as people with estrogen poisoning. Right? Same thing with crowds of people who get violent at a hockey game. It's the same thing. Women get violent because of estrogen poisoning. Men get violent because of estrogen poisoning. It all comes through the mother. And all mothers are estrogen poisoned. Right? Think about the vaccines, the medications, everything. It's all got estrogen in it. Right? It's a byproduct of all petroleum products. Just think how much shit that's in. Leaching into your water every day through your bottles. Estrogen poisoning. Right? Esters. it's all an accident, and that's okay. Because it's all an accident and no one is trying to hurt you. You know, it's just trying to make the world a better place. No one should get angry, that's a disgrace. Because everyone's doing the best they can. No one's trying to hurt the men. And the fact that we sacrifice men all the time is just a conspiracy theory from a deranged mind. La 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 la. The owl sees what is obvious, and everyone else struggles to keep up. Because the owl can simply look through the darkness. The owl is the ultimate solar energy, like the sun. How can the sun be bright and generous with our collective and individual labors, but that it sees through the greatest darkness there is, the womb of heaven itself? The seed. The soundness of our mothers and fathers, each in their heaven, each in their heavenly place on the earth, and in our minds as children, in all, in the song and the wonders of a joy that must be sustained. Else no pain will ever be worth it. And we would never have been born to begin with. The day itself is born upon our lips and upon the lips of dawn. The song and knowledge of the ages. Whoosh! In that deep blue day. Even as the day begins, you hear the first stirring birds. The swallows, the nightingales, the robins, the blue jays, the owls, the crows, the seagulls, and every stirring, moving, speaking wonder of the world stirs from its cradle in the night and begins anew. No anxiety today. I guess my predator is left off for now. Boom, boom, boom. Predators. I always pick up predators wherever I go. It's just good to find out right away what kind of predatory people you have. If there's white people around, there's always predators. Even that woman talking to me is a bit of a female predator. But it's okay. It sounds like she has a happy life and a husband and whatnot. She'll leave me alone for the most part. And it's never a bad idea to know people a little bit, even if you hate them. I hate white people. I hate white women. They're always liars. They're always looking for a little bit of trow, as the British might call it. They're always looking for cock. The weird thing about women is they don't think they're looking for cock. They really believe that there's some sort of wonderful celestial being that they used to be when they were a little girl. And we coddle women, you know? And then they're the ones partying the hardest and being the most promiscuous, the most deceptive, the most complicit in the most duplicative schemes of the enterprises of God and his royal families. And, you know, they think they're this fair person. They think they're kind of like biological moral arbiters of the world. They've gone crazy. And the government, of course, nourishes this. Girls are the first one to call the police. I was walking in some cooler part of the world with sun one day in this neighborhood, down these tracks, middle of nowhere, with my shirt off because I was tired and sweaty. And if the sun's out, you can get rid of that sweat quicker if you take your shirt off and keep your shirt dry and put it back on, right? And she glared at me. She was with three men, bike, all the classic uniforms and stuff. Just that black-eyed glare. I looked and I'm like, whoa. I met the glare briefly, turned my back, and just sort of sat around under this telephone line near this road and just took a breath for a while. And then I went on my way. Next thing you know, a police cruiser is coming up to me about 8 hours later, just cruising by me. I didn't brake. I was in my camera. I just kept talking. I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? You know, the one day that happens, a police cruiser turns down this road, this back alley, and cruises by me. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah. right? That's the locals. That's the police, right? So now a policeman is stalking me on behalf of a female sexual predator, right? Who can't handle seeing a man with his shirt off, right? Because it's out of place for her, right? And just nobody sees or feels what I do behind that woman's eyes. She's a sexual predator. And it's amazing. The worse the female sexual predators, the more self-righteous they are, right? And so the self-righteousness of women, to me, is pretty sick. Women are extremely self-righteous. They really think because they have a vagina, they're right. And their daddies and mommies, much as they have any of them that have any sense at all, convince them of this, right? Vagina makes right. Who has the vagina? Oh, you must be right. And women learn, I've seen this, I've studied it at a very young age, that because they have a vagina, they can't be wrong. And boys learn that because you have a penis, it must be your fault. All the time. Fathers favor the little girl because, in a sense, it's a form of sexual abuse because she has that beautiful celestial energy. And so the best that the fathers and mothers can do is treat her like she's perfect. The mother probably knows different. The father worships her. And it's not that everyone doesn't deserve to be treated like a perfect little child. But that doesn't mean you have to live in denial either. You know? And so they're given everything. They become little divas. And they're absolutely useless to men. Even the nicest of them, you know that any guy they marry is going to die before they do. They'll just cannibalize them without even thinking about it. You're basically just making young cannibals and young men to sacrifice them. It's awful. I've watched it happen in public around witnesses. I know and feel exactly what's happening. I know the parents don't mean it, but they've become something less than human. They've become people raising a couple of cannibals. And what is the man going to think, except that women will feed off of you and if you let them? Which they probably will learn to do, to allow women to feed off of them. That's what I learned. I stay away from them if I can now. You know the ones that are sniffing your cock a little bit. The hallowed place. We have arrived at the hallowed place. We have arrived at the hallowed place. And what a place that we have arrived at. The hallowed place. I'm not trying to be a good singer today. The hallowed place. Ouch! Where my arm starts to hurt for no reason. I've been getting twinges in my arm for a while. The muscle is developing there. I'm not a doctor. I don't fucking know. It's weird because that lady said that I reminded her of a physiotherapist. I should probably go to a physiotherapist. That's what I should do. Fuck you. Physiotherapists are the one group of therapists that have never fucked with me. Seriously, they're like the only decent people there are. You know? Physiotherapists, they seem like they can't fuck up too much, you know? There's a practicality to what they do. It either works or it doesn't. And they work with people who really need to redevelop things. So you have to make progress, which is cool. So they get to do something where they see progress. You're going to see progress if you work with a physiotherapist. And, you know, but like working with anyone, there's dangers. You know, they're not supposed to give you exercises you shouldn't do and stuff like that. But, yeah, they can be quite helpful, I find. But I don't like working with people in general. So. Cool, it's like a little sandbar here. This actually wouldn't be a bad place to swim. Towering limb on limb. Cool. There's actually a maple tree, a young maple right at the edge. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. La 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 la. When you're feeling sad, there's simply nothing you can do 'cause life sucks. You should just commit suicide. Life's so awful, love's not real, and there's nothing, no purpose at all. If you're depressed, the best thing to do is get a gun or some pills and kill yourself. La 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 la, la la la. When you're feeling sad, a shotgun inside your mouth wouldn't be bad. And then the world will be rid of you. Someone would collect your ugly corpse, and that would simply be that. It's just their job. You'd be just another dead body, and you'd never feel anything again. Death is final. Life's a trial. Why bother at all? And Humpty Dumpty and Man and Eve and her way have all taken a humongous precipitous fall, and all the king's men cannot put you back together again. The egg has been broken, the mind of the child has been cracked, and there's no turning back. Oh. Getting a lot of sun now, it's good. I'm hungry too. Wow. It's a day for the hungry man. So all these people have fucked off now. Over here, that's good. So this river, when it comes up, will run right where I'm sitting. It'll be through all through. You might not, you probably won't be able to walk this way anymore, actually. That's probably why a lot of these people don't, it's because probably there's parts of the year where they found that they weren't able to. The river's actually not too high up right now. Sunny. Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Sunday. I was hungry. It's good. As the sun rises, we'd like to get some really cool places to sit over there and see how it goes. My whole body seems cleaner. My system just seems like very good right now. I want to come over here and I want to make a video that you might like over here. Although that sounds creepy, but we're going to do it.